comment to 3 minutes. If you need to write out your comment for an answer at a later date, you can please do so.
Good evening to the board. Once again, my name is James Beasley, and I represent the Two Sigma Research Group of Michigan. I think that we represent the Two Sigma Research Group of Michigan. We formally requested some time on the agenda last week. Did not hear anything back. We have pertinent information indicates it's a very timely nature that we want to share with you. And so we're going to use public comment to talk about that. Anything worthwhile in life is centered around numbers and analytics. If you're a doctor, first thing they do when you walk into the office, they get your vitals. They want to know what your numbers are. You know, if you're going into aerospace, you have to plot your course before you go. We use analytics for everything from hitting baseball to shooting basketball. What we do is we apply analytics to education to get educational results. And it's particularly important this year when you look at where we're at as far as our growth here. So what we've done is we have analyzed the results of the Ben Harbor performance of the last school year and the last few school years to project a trajectory of where you're going to be at if you continue your current performance. Now, when you look at this one page that we've given to you inside your folder, you're going to see that your reading proficiency is at 5.6%. And you compare that to what the state median is required. The state median is right now 45 points, so we're almost 40 points below that. Rich students test out at 63%. St. Joseph is at 63%. And so if we took a look at all the growth that you're getting with your current approach, if you apply that towards the closing the achievement gap, it's going to take you over 1,000 years to get there. And that's a big number. And what I let you know is we're on an unsustainable course for growth. And if you look at the SAT numbers, it tells almost the same kind of story. You're looking at a 707 number for last year testing in Ben Harbor, where the state median is at 985. Rich students testing out at 1050, and St. Joseph is testing out at 1080. So that gives us a poverty gap of 2.8%. So if we're going to look at how fast we can close that gap on your current approach, it's going to take you calculated over 1,000 years, which that means that you're not going to get there. You know what you're doing because you've done this thing year over year. And so what we propose to you, if you look on the other side, we propose to go to a Two Sigma approach. And what we've done is we've broken it down what Two Sigma is. The reason we look at that number is because it was scientifically proven it can be achieved. You get 1 Sigma by doing mastery learning, and we found a way to apply technology and get to other Sigma. And I think to be forewarned is to be forearmed. The governor has already told you she needs a plan. You know, she needs an academic plan. This board has not submitted an academic plan yet. She's told you she needs a financial plan. You haven't submitted a financial plan. You got a committee to start talking about it, but you don't have a plan. So what we're going to do here is when we look at these numbers here, we show you a pathway out. We show you that under half of it, you can get past and equal St. Joseph in 10 years. For 1 Sigma, you can get past and equal St. Joseph for 5 years. And then 2 Sigma, you can do the same thing in 3 years. And that's the primary thing I wanted to bring up.
Thank you. 3 minutes.
I would like to take my 3 minutes and yield to Mr. Beasley. So, quite frankly, what we're offering is a solution to the academic problem that will have you performing at the state median within 3 school years. If our model is adopted by the state of Michigan, part of the contract with the state of Michigan will be to restructure your $18 million debt. No money is required up front to implement this plan. And it can begin as early as the school year. One of the other advantages, because we have been briefing the current governor before, while she was running for election, and after she came out with the crisis here on the crisis here in Benton Harbor academically, we met with her staff. We have her support for the plan. We believe that adopting this plan will immediately move the district into safe harbor. You won't have to worry about being shut down. But it does require your focus and attention on considering the plan. There's no risk, there's no money involved. The investment risk is done by our group and our investors. And our partner, we hope it'll be the state of Michigan statewide. What the governor asked us to do is to come back to Benton Harbor and just get you on board. So I know you can't respond to the question, but the question is, what do we have to do to get your agreement to support a pilot, a demonstration? We can prove that this works in just 100 days. And we can do that this school year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, board members. Mr. Bradley, it's good to see you. It's no secret that, as an elected official, we have come through the state of an emergency. We're in good standing now, and we recently just took on an interim new city manager. When residents of the city ask me things about the school and what's going on, I really don't know all of the logistics of it, but it's my job as an elected official to find out so that I can give them the answers that they need. I mean no disrespect, but I still hold fast to there needs to be an election. Because the last one that took place happened basically under the state of an emergency. And I have a lot of residents that wants to know why is not taking place. I just hope that that's something that we can visit real soon. I cannot in good conscience and will not ask or look at the taxpayers of Benton Harbor, the poor, for anything else in the form of a tax, a bond, anything else. I'm seriously hoping that this board will take into consideration when it comes to putting together the advisory committee or board, that Ms. Eleanor Gavin will be one, given grave consideration, as well as Mr. Paris Torres Montgomery. They've been very useful in this community and doing some things behind the scenes that have not come to fruition yet, but we're working on it. And they go correspond us with what's going on now. And within the plan that you're putting together to submit to the state, I do hope that a model like Manchester Bidwell is included. Because it consists of the things that we used to have when I was in school. Economics, the simple stuff that help us through everyday life. And not only that, but to open their minds broader, thinking outside of the box as to putting them on a career path. They need that. I hear from these young people all the time, as well as their parents, some of whom I serve as clients of mine. I just hope that these are the things that we will take into consideration. And I thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Reverend Edward Pinkney, 1940 Maiden Avenue, Benton Harbor, Michigan.
if I understand this group that came here correctly, they're saying that in 100 days, they can turn the school system around. And also remember them saying that if they can't do or produce what they're saying, that you don't have to pay them. I mean, I would take that off. And I believe that you should really consider that. If they can turn this school system around in 100 days, we don't have no other choice. And also, it's my understanding that the state have an opportunity to forgive the debt. That way, we will have a clean hand. This is an opportunity for us to do something really constructive. But we got to want to do it, you know. And in reference to the advisory board, we got to know what we're doing. We putting some of these ministers on the advisory board, the same one who was calling down to the governor's office, telling them to close the high school. They want to set up charter schools. And they still have the nerve to come down here and act like they support the students here in Benton Harbor. They have no shame. They have no shame. If you're going to support the students, support the students. Don't go behind the school board back and tell the governor that you want to close down the high school so you can open up a charter school. So you can have us online schools so you can make some money. If you claim that you're going to help the city of Benton Harbor in the high school, come here with your checkbook. If you don't come with your checkbook, that means you don't want to help the students here. And the last thing I want to do, I want to donate 3 instruments to the bank. 3 brand new instruments from Banco. You can get in touch with me and let me know where I can just drop them off or whatever I need. But with the next couple of weeks, I plan to purchase 3 band instruments to donate to the Benton Harbor Student Bank. And if possible, I would like to do it every year. At least donate 3-4 instruments to Benton Harbor School. And this is what we said. We have a community here full of churches. And if they really want to help the students, let's help them. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. Could you contact the superintendent on that donation?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you for your comments.
Marvin Haywood, Keeping It Real Radio 105.3. As I stand here today, when we were talking about the plan that was delivered to the governor, the language that was in that plan, it should have never been in the plan, especially when you had closing the schools and talked about making them pay a tax. So it was never going to be accepted. As always, I'm going around my elbow to get to my thumb to keep this district intact, but there's individuals that are not playing in the best interest of the district. For years and years and years, we were doing the same thing. The first thing you should have did when they told you that the school couldn't close was get a superintendent, first and foremost. That's the first thing that you do. To bring in a firm, to pay a firm $20,000 to help you go do something you can put on your page to do yourself. This little business is the same game we've been playing for years. The same way, it's like musical chairs. I mean, and so when we have individuals that's in this mix that know that they don't have the district's best interests at heart, but they're putting forth another agenda, it has to stop. And whatever I have to do to get rid of you, and you know who I'm talking about, whatever I have to do to get rid of you, I'm gonna do it. Because it's time out for games. The governor and Dana Nessa on the side of the district. They on the side of the people. They're working for the people. And so we have to really be real with ourselves. You know, before I sabotage something, I step down. Why would I come and pretend to have somebody's best interests at heart? You know, that's just like with the principal at the high school. Why do we have to bring in individuals that don't even understand our culture? Don't even understand what's really going on when you talk about the city of Benton Harbor? It's been going on for years. How could you keep doing the same thing, looking for different results? That's called insanity. It's insanity. And it ain't like people don't see the big picture. You understand me? It's real. And right now, these children want a better future for themselves. And we have an opportunity to get it right. And if the proper framework is put together, they will forgive the debt. They know that plan that was sent didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. I read it. I was with them. It didn't make sense. So why would you think they would approve something like that? They talked about shutting down the schools and putting the same agreement in place that's been put in place for years. That's not working. It's not going to work. The same partnership agreement you had with the two biggest industries in Michigan, Lakeland and Whirlpool. How would you bring in and be worse off now than what you was when you was in that partnership agreement? Because individuals is not trying to help this school district. So we have to just keep it real. We have to get the right people on board. Individuals bring forth a plan to help you without anything being delivered. And you didn't have $18 million worth of deliverables that ain't been delivered. You know, so make it make sense. I mean, we just have to be real. But you don't want to sit down and work fruitfully with individuals that really want to come in and help us. But everybody that want to put us at a disadvantage, you'll work with them. You'll bring them on board like they're really going to help. And we know these individuals not going to help. It's just time out for it. And I guarantee you, if it's the last thing I do, I refuse to let you sit up and play games. After I walked through that high school and I went to the schools for the first few days, you know, we see the same thing going on, you know. So we have to be real with ourselves. And that's all I have to say, but I guarantee you will not win if you're not for the right thing. Facts.
Thank you.
Members of the board, I'm Harold Gregg. I'm president of the Berrien County chapter of the Michigan Association of Retired School Personnel. And I'm here out of compassion and concern for the Benton Harbor school system. And what is happening now is not something new. I don't know if the board is aware. It broke my heart to be aware that students were filled up in the high school, in the library last week because they had no teachers, had no curriculum. And that, we need to be direct about that. Had no teachers and had no curriculum. Now, we can talk over and over again about debt and so on. We don't even know who's running this school board. Is it the president or the vice president? All of the interviews on the radio, vice president, and everything comes out, vice president. Is the board under the control of, is there a president? I'm very concerned, and I've been here for 35 years. I taught in Coloma. I retired from Coloma. I taught students from Benton Harbor. They are excellent students. For 35 years, I've been hearing nothing but what is wrong with the Benton Harbor school system. And you're not going to change it by doing the same thing. And we need to do something and do it constructively. And it's not about what's in it for me, what's in it for my family, this nepotism and this kind of stuff. I can quote you, if you're interested, about people who have worked here in federal programs and having people come to them and saying, can't you pay me out of this? And they said, no, because it doesn't fit the protocol. And my integrity, I'm not going to pay you from something that doesn't belong. This kind of mentality, and people keep talking about the students. You don't give a rip about these students. These are the ones who are suffering.
Yep.
Good evening. My name is Jan Smith. I'm part of the Quick to Learn. This is not my first trip to this school district. Each time we come,
we come bearing the same gifts, and that's an opportunity to change your situation. Each time we come, we normally get the same reaction. And looking at it, we still have the same reaction going on inside the school district. You can just look out on the streets and look at your children, and you can see how they're hurting. I walk amongst them, I don't drive past them, I live with them. I'm an aerospace engineer that came back to the neighborhoods of Chicago. And I've been training those neighborhoods, not only there, but all the way through to Detroit and everywhere else I can in order to save our kids, because they are the future. And if you don't have a positive plan or any way to go, you start to look at your opportunities. And I'm asking you, please, to look at the opportunities that you have, not to sit down and spend another moment debating why these children are getting lost to this pipeline prison. The illiteracy rate is flying out the roof. More and more children are being disparaged, but your children, I'm sure, are not. More and more children don't have families. You don't know how I've had to share my mother and my father with communities, but children who don't even know the concept of family. To lose public education is to lose a public voice. Don't let that happen. You have an opportunity to do something. Not to say it's a silver bullet, but who knows, it might just be. So please don't spend this time sitting down, twiddling your thumbs anymore, because we can't afford to do that. Internationally, we have lost the race. Don't lose any more of our kids, I'm asking, please.
Thank you.
Hey, good evening. My name is Elmore Gavin. I'll try to be brief. I just want to remind the board that I know that you want to be unified, but there are 7 seats for a reason, 7 minds of your own. And if you look at Benton Harbor, you may think that there's division, but when people came into that auditorium, they were united. And when the people met on the other side to protect the school district, we were united. We were united around giving our students a fresh start. We were united around wanting this district to post this budget online, real time, so that we could see what is really going on monetarily. When you start doing things in a transparent way, you start to build trust. When you do the things that you say you were going to do, that's how you build trust with the community. When we can look at the budget and drill down to the dollar and see how the money is being spent, the state can trust us, the stakeholders can trust us, we can trust each other. You passed a resolution in May, but I don't know if that item is on the agenda today, but it hasn't been on the agenda. And so after you pass the resolution saying that you will fight for a fresh start, you will work towards getting an online program so that we can see the budget and we can see what's going on. After you pass the resolution unanimously and say that you agree to that, when are you going to get something like Unitrex on the agenda so that the people can see what's going on? We still don't know what happened to the $2 million with the anti-bullying and gang prevention grant. So when so many people in the community say we want to help and we have programs and we have this and we have that, but you say we don't have money, well, what happened to the money, right? And so we need that trust, and we need all of the board members to stand up and speak up and to say what's on your mind. We don't need to hear from just one board member. We want to know what you've been reading, what do you believe is best for the district, and we need to know that when we came together to protect the district, that you all are in line with us as well. And so that's a concern of ours. The other concern, I said it before, is that I'm hoping that we don't just sell off the property. I probably say it every time, because there is a solution, and I would like you all to take a look at that solution, read it, and vote on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, public participation? Thank you. I have a motion for approval of minutes from September 3rd, 2019 work session board meeting.
They can't hear you.
Could I have a motion for the approval of work session board minutes from September 3rd, 2019?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve 9/3/19 work session.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please call roll.
President Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice President Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Rush, yes. Ms. Crowder? Yes. Ms. Buchanan?
Yes.
Mr. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Whitley Seeds? Motion passes.
Thank you. Under board business, item number 1, the passage of the enhanced deficit elimination plan resolution that we received last week, and it should have been taken care of quite earlier, but we just got the information. Everyone's had a chance to review that. Could I have a motion for that resolution, please?
Mr. President, I move approval of the resolution to report the enhanced deficit elimination plan to the Treasury.
I support.
It's been moved and supported. Call the roll, please.
President Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice President Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Rush, yes. Ms. Crowder?
Yes.
Ms. Buchanan?
Yes.
Mr. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Whitley Seeds? The motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 2, advisory committee resolution. Mr. Secretary Rush.
Mr. President, I move passage of the resolution of the Board of Education. Sorry, if you can't hear me. Mr. President, is that better? Okay, yes. Mr. President, I move passage of the resolution of the Board of Education of the Benton Harbor Area Schools for the Joint State Advisory Committee. I'm going to read the resolution. Whereas the district is a general powers school district under the revised school code, whereas due to the various academic achievement and financial struggles the district has faced, which have been caused in part due to declining enrollment as a result of schools of choice and charter schools, the state of Michigan has intervened in the district over the past 5 years. Whereas following the enactment of 2018 PA 601, which repealed section 1280C of the code and impaired an existing cooperative agreement between the district and the state school reform officer redesign district. Representatives of the district met multiple times with representatives from the Michigan Department of Education, MDE, the Michigan Department of Treasury, and the Executive Office of Governor Whitmer to address issues related to the impact on the district as a result of the passage of 2018 PA 601 and the elimination of the school reform district. Whereas on May 24th, 2019, representatives of the board were presented with a document entitled Draft Benton Harbor Area Schools Steps for Elimination of enhanced educational opportunities for residents of Benton Harbor Area School District, and were advised that the board had until June 7th, 2019 to agree to the governor's proposed plan, which included the district closing down the district's high schools beginning in the 2020-2021 school year. Whereas the board rejected the governor's proposed plan and submitted to the state officials alternate plans for the continued viability of the district, which included keeping the district's high schools open and both debt elimination and academic achievement benchmarks. Whereas the state treasurer, along with representatives from MDE and Treasury, requested the board hold a special meeting on August 16, 2019, at which the state treasurer proposed collaborating with the district through an open and transparent process to assess and report on the current state of the district and develop a sustainable operating plan for the district, which would include creating an advisory committee to engage stakeholders in the community and report back with recommendations in approximately 6 months. And whereas the board heard the presentation from Treasury and MDE along with comments from the public and desired to support the framework of the open and transparent process proposed by Treasury. Therefore, the Board of Education of the Benton Harbor Area Schools resolved that the advisory committee will be established consistent with state law by no later than October 8th, 2019, and will assign the task of providing a written report to the board and state officials no later than March 31st, 2020. End of resolution.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion that the resolution is passed.
Support.
It's been, motions been made and seconded. Call the roll, please.
President Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice President Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Rush, yes. Ms. Crowder,
Yes.
Ms. Buchanan,
Yes.
Ms. Watley Seeds, Mr. Bradley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, board. Superintendent, Ms. Robinson.
Good evening, board. I do have 4 staff reports for you tonight. The first one is our HMH professional services report. The first one is our HMH professional services report. The reason for consideration is that this purchase will need, it's above the dollar amount for single service purchasing, so we are bringing it to you. Facts and analysis, HMH provides a coaching model that focuses 80% on student learning and 20% on instructional design. Coaches will collaborate with teachers to design and support changes in practice that leads to improved student outcomes. Teachers are provided practical support for classroom application, including lesson modeling and team teaching. This is a sole source purchase that aligns with our curriculum. Houghton Mifflin, the cost is $250,000. It will be funded through Title II, 31A, and our RAGs. And the policy is reference 6320 with purchasing. The recommended action is that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education approves the purchase of training and coaching through International Center for Leadership in Education in the amount of $110,250.
Discussion, is there any discussion, staff report number 1? No discussion, any motion for staff report number 1?
Mr. President, I recommend that the Board of Education approves the purchase of training and coaching through International Center for Leadership and Education for the amount of $110,250.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Call the roll, please.
President Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Rush, yes. Ms. Crowder,
Yes.
Ms. Buchanan,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Ms. Watley Seeds. Motion passes.
Thank you.
The next staff report is approval of our student code of conduct, and this is something that is done yearly. Our student code of conduct was updated with name changes and the addition of the inside Board of Education page. The content remained the same. The policy reference is 5110. The recommended action is the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to approve the student code of conduct handbook for the 2019-2020 school year.
Any questions of the board? May I have a motion, please, for staff report number 2?
So moved.
I'll support it.
It's been moved and supported. Call roll, please.
President Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice President Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Rush, yes. Ms. Crowder,
Yes.
Ms. Buchanan,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next report is the Dream Innovative Academy Handbook, which is a secondary handbook for our Dream high school students. This handbook is also yearly approved by the board. The facts and analysis is Dream Innovative Academy leadership in collaboration with district leadership developed a student handbook and course guide. This course guide gives pertinent information as relates to grades, courses, graduation, etc. Policy reference is 5110. Recommended action is that the board, Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to approve the Dream Innovative Academy student handbook.
Any questions of the board on staff report number 3? Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I support.
It's been moved and supported. Please call roll.
President Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice President Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Rush, yes. Ms. Crowder,
Yes.
Ms. Buchanan,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Staff report 3B.
My final report, and Mr. Troy Boone he is out sick, so he was unable to present this tonight. The reason for consideration is to upgrade our attendance lunch and visitor process. We presented the information last week. Facts and analysis scholarship will set up kiosks and entryways for students for attendance. They will also provide a visitor pass as well as late passes in the schools of Benton Harbor High School, Arts and Communications Academy, and also Dream. Policy reference is 6320. Our recommended action is that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to approve the purchase of a new Fob Smart ID system through scholarship in the amount of $92,627, and this will exhaust our MSP grant that we received last year.
Any discussions? As you heard, this is being paid out of a grant fund that we received last year. And the expiration date on the grant is September 30th. So we certainly want to use these funds rather than giving them back. I think the program will speak for itself. It gives better control of our buildings, both interior and exterior. And along with our camera system that we already have in place, this will put us in very, very good position for safety of our students, staff, and community. May I have a motion, please?
I move that we pass staff report number 3B.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Please call roll.
President Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice President Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Rush, yes. Ms. Crowder,
Yes.
Ms. Buchanan,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Business and Finance, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. Before I present the staff report, just a couple of clarifications. The district has submitted financial plans to the state of Michigan, and also the district is
I can't
already.
hear you.
Can you speak into the mic?
The district has indeed submitted financial plans to the state of Michigan. So, and also the district is already in the process of restructuring its debt with the closing scheduled next month. This report is the monthly financial report. Reason for board consideration is the set of financial reports is prepared for and provided to the Board of Education each month. Facts and analysis. This evening, it's recommended that payments for all the district's funds be approved for July 2019. Policy reference is 6470, payment of claims. And the recommended action is that the Board of Education vote to approve the July payments for the amounts listed below.
Any discussion?
I have discussion.
Yes, Ms. Rush.
So as people may know, I'm chairman of the finance committee of the board and work very closely with interim superintendent, Ms. Robinson, and our CFO, Mr. Johnson. We all support trying to have transparency of the budget and the financial reports. And all I can say is we need a little more time. As you may be aware, the prior superintendent took action in terms of decreasing the staffing support we had in the finance office. So we're having to catch up on things that should have been taken care of during that administration. And we are meeting all of our deadlines with the state, but because this is taking extra energy, we are not able to put our budget up online. But is our full intent to have that up online and for a more open discussion by November, if not by October. And all I can say is that was, we're sorry that it's taking so long, but we cannot undo what was decided to do by the previous administration. We're just trying to get our house in order, and CFO Johnson is doing a superb job. So if you could just bear with us a little bit longer.
I have a motion for staff report. Number 4, please.
So moved.
I'll support.
Moved and supported. Please call the roll.
President Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice President Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Rush, yes. Ms. Crowder?
Yes.
Ms. Buchanan?
Yes.
Mr. Bradley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Human resources.
Good evening. Report on employment of staff. I'm submitting for board consideration to approve the employment of following staff according to in alphabetical order. Raymond Ehioman, teacher in training, special education. Sherelle Ellis, academic interventionist in training. Chardonnay Johnson, teacher in training, science. Cynthia Lambert, teacher, first grade. Jasmine Moore Kyle, academic interventionist in training. Timothy Nelson, paraprofessional. Elizabeth Perkins, academic interventionist. Julie Reed, teacher, kindergarten. Robert Sepulveda, counselor in training. Jason Smith, teacher in training, fourth grade. Bradley Stockwell, teacher, social studies. Regina Strother, teacher in training, 8th grade in ELA. And Debbie Beater, teacher, special education.
Any questions from the board?
I don't know, do they have all the teachers for the high school?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the
You know,
question.
do you have all the teachers for the high school, like math teachers?
The list of teachers is submitted, the location is noted.
Trish, maybe you could.
We are working hard every day, trustee Buchanan, to get our positions filled. We do have a number of subs in the positions, so we do have the vacancies filled with subs. We also have on our website continued postings for teachers. So we are looking for, so if you have some teachers, please send them our way. We are dealing with the teacher shortage just as everybody else is, but we do have the vacancies filled. One of our good things is we have all of our elective classes filled up. So that means we have students coming in. So we are in the process of opening up another elective class because we have all of those classes filled. And remember that those class sizes vary depending on what the electives are. So we have some good news on that from that end.
I'm sorry, I must have misunderstood the question. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Can I have a motion, please?
I'd like to make a motion to approve staff report number 5.
So moved.
It's been moved and supported. Please call the roll.
President Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice President Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Rush, yes. Ms. Crowder.
Yes.
Ms. Buchanan,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
The next report is a resignation and retirement of staff. Gina Bulbo, teacher, first grade, retired. Sherry Bragg, paraprofessional, special education, retired. Sarah Briley, teacher, first grade, resigned. Cynthia Kotenko, teacher, first grade, resigned. James Newman, technology integration specialist, resigned. Denal Miller, academic interventionist, resigned. McKenna Reeves, teacher, science, resigned. Claire Romano Martin, teacher, kindergarten, resigned. Timothy Sina, teacher of PE, resigned. And Timothy Strong, teacher, science, resigned. I submit for the board consideration to accept the resignation of the staff.
Any board discussion, please? Take a motion for staff report number 6.
I move.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Please call the roll.
President Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice President Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Rush, yes. Ms. Crowder, Ms. Buchanan,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Any discussion items?
I have a couple of discussion items, Mr. President.
Yes.
So I have some items of discussion. We were sent a weekly memo concerning turning a portion of the library into a conference room, and those actions cannot be taken without board approval. So I want to know how we got to that place without board approval. Also, there's another issue of hiring an assistant for the library that also has to have board approval. So I need to know how we got to that crossroads as well, because you can't do any hiring without board approval.
Thank you. Superintendent announcements, comments.
Just have a few comments. I do want to let everybody know that we do have curriculum in place. We've had curriculum in place for a number of years now. As we move forward, we'll continue to improve and revise that curriculum as well. And then also I want to let everyone know that on our website, if you go to BHAS.org, you will see an icon on there called IDEX. And that is very similar to Unitrex. And if you click on that, there's a number of tabs across the top. One is about academics, one is about financials. That information is actually flown from the IDEX program into this, onto this dashboard. So there is something on our website concerning that.
Thank you. Board announcements and/or comments. Mr. Bradley.
I want to say good evening to everyone. It's good to be here. I want to say good evening to everyone. It's good to be here. Just, a few things. I do keep tabs of what's going on despite my job. One thing I wanted to say during the public comment was that, they said there's a lot of stuff going on. I think a lot of people have a view of apathy towards things. They've gotten used to a lot of things being in the same place. So a lot of people, they see stuff happening, they say, oh, well, it's just the same old business. So we can get people out of that, that apathetic attitude, and get them more involved, and we work with the community better. I think that can be done. There's, a lot of social media chatter from parents too and stuff that I see going on. They have, a few issues, so I try to address them or try to contact someone. So, but like I said, it's good to be here. Good to see everyone.
Yeah, well, I would like to thank, if you had, thank the public for coming out. This is your community, some of your students, and I said this and I said it again. I'm also right here and there, going here and there, involved with a lot of young people. When we put each other down or talk about something that we don't know about, you're hurting the students. And I know Ben Harvard knows, our students don't have anything to do. They got nowhere to go. All these buildings, I don't live in the city, I live in the township. And people come up to me and say something, and I say, well, you got the president and you got a vice president. What you know, I say, I know I love the kids. I can prove mine. I got a legend that I can go by and say what I've done. But Ben Harvard needs to stop. Not only, it's just so many false rumors and comments being said and done. It's not true. Let's done to love one another. You know, sometimes when the news come on, and I said I don't have a hidden agenda. I love everybody. Some things they do, you may not like it. We got one of the worst presidents in the United States ever had. And Ben Harbor has a bad record. Out of all the people in Ben Harbor, you only had 681 people voted. Labor going around the census. We need to get them involved in it. You see, Reverend Pigneys out there doing, they come to the meeting. Come to the meeting so you'll know what's going on and voice your opinion. And that's show love, not hate. Love one another. Don't stop coming. And pretty soon I'm going to get ready for my junior kids and my senior kids for the parade. I want a full house of the little kids. So you're going to get a notice on all the schools. Soon I talk to Ms. Robinson, because I like to choose and challenge you the superintendent. We got to respect one another's position. That's another thing. But now I have a problem, but I'm not going to, this ain't another, Ben Harbor school boy ain't got nothing to do with this. So I'm going to call one of the officials at the city. Because you got people that's real rude. And we not say that, but I had to go take care of something for my son that had a stroke. And it was terrible how I was treated. We need to learn, you may be the boss, but you're not the boss of me. So let's start loving one another, stop spreading the rumors, and continue to come out here so you know what's going on. Don't take my word, because I can hear it. I'm not going to tell you nothing. You can say the dog was green. When you look around, the dog was red. I said, where you get that from? So let's stop that. Let's love one another. Thank you.
Ms. Crowder.
I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out, especially Dr. Parker and Heather Briggs from Treasury. So we're glad to see you working with us. Also, Mr. Beasley and his program. That's all. Thank you.
Ms. Rush.
I apologize for the coughing spasms. I just wondered, President Mitchell or Mr. Taylor, if you could give us an update on the superintendent search.
Mr. Mitchell? Well, I talked with the representative from the company today. We're still in the process of the calendar that was given to us as far as timeframes. I was going to mention under comments that let's be diligent in our timetable because we need to keep our end of the bargain up. He has not received surveys from necessary board members that he was waiting on. And there's some other glitches that we need to work out, but it is continuing and moving forward.
I would say also that I think it's September 18th is when he's supposed to come in and interview members of the community. Remember, we established 3 committees.
It's like a week.
Yep, so that's still on task.
Okay.
When those committees are established, the board will also get interviewed, right? As to what you want to see in a superintendent, and that's how we'll make the job description for superintendent. Okay, so that's how that's created, through the community, those 3 committees, and through the board. Hope that helps.
Any other comments, Ms. Rush?
No, thank you.
Taylor?
All right, so I don't normally respond to comments because I've been on the board for a long time and I don't need to. But the young man that spoke about who's the spokesperson, well, there's policies called Neola policy. You can look it up online for Ben Harbor area schools. Under that policy, the superintendent of schools is the spokesperson unless he deems it to someone else. So Mr. Mitchell said, Mr. Taylor, you speak for the board. So that's how that happened. So it's not about a superintendent, or I'm sorry, a president speaking or vice president. That task could have been given to anyone, right? So when we come to the microphone and things like that, let's make sure we know exactly what we're talking about, right? And so that's online, Neola policies, Ben Harbor area schools, we can look it up. Also, there was a mention tonight about, creating a plan. Boards of education in this state, by law, we're not required to create a plan. So I don't know where everyone got that in their minds to think that the board was supposed to create a plan for the governor's office. That's inaccurate. St. Joe, Lakeshore, Berrien Springs, no school district does that. Plans are written by the administration, right? Or the superintendent and their administrators. Boards don't do that. So I think you guys have that all wrong, right? So even when the governor asks for a plan, that's not in our preview. That's not our job. Also, I do agree with Reverend Pinckney when he brings up about the pastors. I don't see the need for that on the advisory board. I think I made that clear with Treasury in our conversation last week. And also, when we do the advisory board, I think it would be clear if we put a memo of understanding, right? Because as Reverend Pinckney talked about charter schools, we want to make sure that whomever is on that advisory board does not take those ideas of ideation, right, and create charters from them and look at, what we've done. So we want to make sure we kind of bring that in as well. And there was one more thing too about board members speaking up. Anyone can speak up here. And if they don't speak, it's their choice, right? And I'm the senior member on the board, so I know Michigan compiled law, right? I know board policies. I've been here, I've done that. So I do speak up a lot because of tenure, right? Because of experience. It's not to overshadow anybody up here because they're all thinkers, but it's just to give experience, right? As we fight this battle to remain a school district, which we will. So I want to thank you tonight for your comments. Keep the comments coming, right? But a lot of times I think we need to make sure that we're concise and correct when we make those comments because the cameras are here, right? And the news is here. They're going to write what you say. And if it's wrong, then it's bad news. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Taylor. I have two comments. First, beginning at the October meeting, the public comments will be at the end of the business meeting. And that is because we want to make sure that the community has an opportunity to hear what the business of the board is about and what we're discussing. Because many times when we have the comments up front, after the person comments, they leave and go elsewhere, and they don't hear that whatever they're asking might get an answer if they had stayed. So that will happen in October. Public comment will be after the regular business at hand. And the last thing, to the point of who's president and who's whatever on this board, we are a 7-member board. And when I was elected president, I told all the board members, there is no big me and little you. That we are all equal.
All right.
And everyone has a voice whenever they have an idea or want to talk. They certainly have, they do not have to have my approval to speak because we all were elected and or appointed. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move that we close tonight's meeting.
Support it.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.